Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Faryal Razak, and we are here with our COVID-19 emotional wellness series, Emotional Wellbeing Matters. And today we are here with episode 7, and today we're going to talk about narcissism. Ladies and gentlemen, due to Ramadan and the sanctity of Ramadan, this will be our last session before Ramadan, and inshallah, we will continue after Ramzan and Eid holidays. So, what is a narcissistic personality disorder? Before we do that, let me tell you a legend, a fable that is being said that in Greek there was a man who was very handsome and he wanted everybody to praise him. And what happened that he wanted to seek love, and he was rejected, and then he was so sad that he come upon a reflection, his own reflection in water, and he fell in love with himself. And what happened that he wanted to see himself so much that he drowned in the water. And where he drowned, there was a flower, Narcissus flower, that was born in that place. So this is what a legend says, and that perfectly explains what a narcissistic person looks like. So the narcissistic person has an inflated sense of self. They're very proud of who they are, and they think that they're better than everyone, and they lack empathy. They can't feel what others are feeling actually. And the reason why they can see people how they're feeling is because they see people as competitors, because they have to be better than everybody else around. So even their relations, even the people they know, they think that they are the competitors. So they don't feel empathy, they feel a sense of competition, and they're very stubborn about it also. So narcissistic, on the other hand, they crave admiration. They want to be praised, and if they are criticized, they feel horrible, and they even act horrible if they are criticized. So this is what narcissism looks like, and there are two kinds of narcissism. One is called grandiose, and as the name suggests, that they feel that they are better than the world, and our most of the politicians would fall into this category, because they want to be basically self-promoting themselves, and they want everybody to be praising them and knowing them. So the other kind of narcissism is basically a passive form of narcissism, and that kind of narcissism is basically vulnerable narcissism, and this is that they do feel the sense of status and attention, but they are not very strong personalities, and they are not very extroverts. So basically they will show very risky and unethical behaviors to prove themselves better than they would pull legs, start everybody around them feeling bad about themselves. So it's estimated that around 1 to 2% of the population suffer from this narcissistic personality disorder, and most of them are male, because we have a very patriarchal society, and the males are most prone to that. And how this personality disorder comes into being is just because it is part genetic and part environment. So if as a child the parents were all the time giving you false inflated ego, you are the best, and the parents that in the name of confidence, they give their children a false sense of like they are the best and all that. So they will develop more likely to develop grandiose type of narcissism at the later stage, because they crave for status and attention all the time when they grow up. And similarly, if the parents were very controlling, or the environment they were very controlling, so they will develop this vulnerable type of narcissism. So narcissism is actually quite prevalent, and during COVID-19, when we were stuck inside, unfortunately the person in a narcissistic relationship, so there are two things to be known here, that are you the narcissistic person or are you living with the narcissistic person. So I'm going to tell you few red flags that you can see, and most of us can relate to it, but when it becomes a disorder is when you try to control others. This is when it becomes a disorder, that you try to take over people's life. You want to control them, and you want them to feel bad, and you want them to praise you and like worship you, God forbid. So this is when it becomes a disorder. So let's go through the checklist, that if you have these symptoms, you probably are a narcissistic personality, and you need to seek help from a good psychiatrist or a good psychotherapist, and you need to go and resolve your issues. So if you have inflated self of self, that you think you are better than anybody, and you do things better than anybody else, you are very proud, and you lack empathy, and you find competition very easy. If somebody is criticizing you, you're trying to tell them that how they are wrong and what you did was right, and instead of taking it as a feedback, you're doing that. And then you crave admiration. I mean, so if you have these traits, then you most likely, and you want to control other people's life as well, then you probably have this narcissistic personality disorder. So let me tell you, there are 3 stages of being in a narcissistic relationship. If you are with the person, your spouse, your your parents for that matter, or in another relationship, it could be your siblings also, your friends also. So if you are in a narcissistic relationship, and like in COVID, we are stuck with it, there are 3 cycles to it. I mean, it's a cyclical relationship, and there are 3 processes, there are 3 steps to it. So today we are going to tell you that you need to understand those red flags in the relationship and what you can do. Because most of the time it is not easy to get out of the relationship. The narcissistic person, if they don't seek help, they are unlikely to improve ever, because they're not working on their self growth, they're not working on them. So it is unlikely that they are going to get better, but they are going to damage you as much they can, because this is what they want to do. They want to control you. And let me tell you one thing, the narcissistic persons are very, so they are going to take advantage and understand you, and rouse your insecurities about you, and prey on that. So let me tell you the 3 cycles of that narcissistic relationship, and which is a cyclical process. So once you are in a narcissistic relationship, it is difficult for you to get out. So the first stage is glorifying, and I'm talking about the new relationships that you have, because if you were born to a narcissistic parents, you may not know, but these relationships and the cycles that I'm telling you, it's a cyclical process. They come again and again. It may take even an hour of these cycles to complete. It may take days and years to complete. So you have to identify that. So today I'm going to tell you how you're going to deal with the narcissistic personality relationship. So first, understand the 3 stages. First stage is glorifying. You can call that the honeymoon period, that at that time of a relationship, it's everything is perfect. They're complimenting you, they're doing stuff for you, and you're having so much fun, and you really like that actually, and that part of it is memorable, and this is the part they're going to feed for the rest of that cycle, because they make you feel good, and they are at the best of themselves, and they're providing you stuff, you're having fun, you're going out and eating and whatever, they're bringing in presents, and everything is rosy-dosy. So this glorifying stage, soon, because at this stage, if you are into a new relationship, let's say, at this stage they are judging you, they're judging your vulnerable points as well, and so they're taking mental notes on you. So then comes the belittling stage. Now small harmless comments started coming, that you don't do this right, your hair doesn't look bad, your hair looks bad, and very subtle and bad comments. So they started belittling, so that you start doubting yourself. And what's the point of all this belittling? That they want to shake you from inside. They are not prying on your insecurities. So this is the time to realize that they are belittling you. And the third cycle would be abandoning, because they are very good at that. The moment they understand that the other person might get out of that relationship, and they are getting to know that it is not okay to do that. So before you leave them, they are going to tell you, okay, you're not good enough, nobody is going to love you that much, I did this for you, I did that for you. They're going to do everything. So they will make you feel that they are going to abandon you. And at this stage, when the stage glorifying stage is there, and when they start belittling you, and when they start belittling you, you would remember when a subtle comment, a bad comment they give you, that you don't do anything right, and you would start remembering that glorifying things, that glorifying stage things that you do, and you would feel bad. Okay, he did that to me, or they did this thing nice to me, and it's okay if they said that. So basically what they're doing is checking your own boundaries. Now they're making you question your own boundaries, what you can take. And this is the time you need to understand that what is it that keeps them, you into that relationship, because you have your own insecurities, you have your own doubts, you have your own. And at that cyclical moment, when you are in this narcissistic cyclical relationship, you have fuzzy thinking. You are not thinking through, because you are into a cyclical process. So this is going to happen. And then you have to understand that how you're going to do that. So the thing that I suggest you is, when you're alone, sit down and understand the three stages, what were glorifying, belittling, and then abandoning. So you need to write down, because writing down is very therapeutic. You can walk it out as a outsider. So write everything in stage one. When this relationship was glorifying, what happens and be very objective. You have to give a very concrete things to write here, not the feelings, the concrete things that happen. So when you have all those glorifying things, you need to ask certain questions about the things this relationship, the glorifying stage gives me. Were the things missing in my life? Are they completing something in me which was missing? Maybe a relationship, you were alone, you were afraid to be alone, you were abandoned before, you don't want to be abandoned. And the missing piece they are providing in this relationship, can you give that missing piece to yourself? So you need to write these things down. Then comes the stage of when they're belittling you. When they're belittling you, you need to understand that how can you empower yourself. Because most of us, the people who stay in this abusive narcissistic relationship, they lack self-efficacy. Because you have to look your relationship objectively. So when they're belittling you, ask yourself this question: if it wasn't you, and it was someone someone who you love very much, and it was happening to them, how would you think it is okay to do that? So if it isn't okay for them, is it okay to you? Do you deserve this belittling? So you need to ask yourself, but before asking yourself, you need to write those belittling things they do to you. Write it down. So first stage, in the first stage, when you have written down the grandeur part, when it was glorifying and everything, now you write the belittling part, because the subtle small things they say, it really means a lot. It really affects you. So you need to understand that how you're going to deal with that. You have to put your foot down, and you have to draw your boundaries somewhere. So how are you going to do that? Nobody can do it but yourself. And And then comes the abandoning part. If they think that they're going to abandon you, and you are so afraid to be alone, and culturally or family or society, the society pressure, you can't leave this relationship. And if you want to leave that relationship, do you want to take the 100% responsibility of that relationship? So that is important to understand, that you understand that you can do that, and can you see your future without that person? So these are important questions that you need to ask, and what that future would be. So write these things down and then read your answers, and you will find that you need to work on yourself, because there were certain missing pieces in your personality, in your relationship, the things that you were craving in this relationship, and wishful thinking that would happen, and this person has crippled you into believing, because they want to take control over you, that there's something missing in you, you do something right. So you are in self-doubt all the time, whether I was doing it right or not. So I must tell you that these are very powerful exercises that you can do, and just writing them, and it's very therapeutic. And when you write all these steps, the glorifying steps they do, and then the belittling and the abandoning, and the cycle goes on and on. And the next cycle is when they understand that they're abandoning you, and then the cycle of glorifying comes again, but not at the level of that glorifying that you in the first place that it used to be. So you understand, need to know that this is that the vicious cycle is going to happen again in the relationship. So you need to understand that this is all about them. If it is a grandiose, they want to not only get power. We see a lot of politicians there, a lot of leaders there. It's not just the power they they crave, not just only the power that they crave, but it's about the status and the attention. So we have seen this, the selfie culture has proven, triggered this narcissistic personality disorder. If you're too obsessed with yourself and the selfies, and American Psychological Society has told that it's screen addiction is the latest mental disorder. Taking selfie is a new level of narcissistic personality disorder. So you need to work on yourself. What are the things that are missing? What are missing pieces in your personality? What are your doubts and anxieties and guilts and shames that you really want to get over and seek refuge in these abusive relationships? So you will find a lot of answers of your boundaries there. So because I was asked to do this program for narcissistic personality disorder, it's a very detailed work, but this is the gist of it. So please practice on the things that I told you, the 3 stages. Write it down and see where your personality flaws and where your personality insecurities are into this jigsaw puzzle, and take it out and work on your own self-efficacy and on your self development and understanding. So writing and understanding is powerful. So I hope the holy month of Ramadan bring us peace and serenity, and Allah Pak save us from this calamity that is going around. May our prayers are answered, our fast are being accepted by Allah Pak, so that we can have mercy. So this time you need to understand, are you the narcissistic person in the relationship? You need to work on yourself as well. And if you find yourself into the narcissistic relationship, even then it's time to work on yourself, because you give the power to that person. So you need to understand certain things, and you need to understand that it's in your hand. So stay safe and be as kind. And because if you are a narcissistic person, the only thing to get out of it is compassion. Practice compassion. Be as kind as you can be. Compassion is therapeutic, So be compassionate, and this is what the psychologist is going to do. They bring in the compassion, and they'll give you more compassionate exercises. So be as kind and as merciful and as compassionate towards everyone that you find around. So take real good care of yourself, your mind, your health, your body, and your spiritual self as well. May God be with us, and we come victorious from this COVID-19. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.